Hello guys, welcome back to another Talk Coventry City video. Today we are back with the weekly championship predictions. I'm not in a great mood, obviously. Coventry are on a bit of a bad run, but today I've got Sophie back. How are you doing, Sophie?
Yeah, like you said, I'm not in the best of moods after yesterday's result, but yeah, let's hope we have a better weekend. I've not predicted it, but you'll see. Yeah, Sophie was our first guest in the weekly predictions video. That finished 2-2, so maybe we're quite similarly matched. Let's get straight into it then with the Friday night game. Once again, Coventry are playing Friday night football on Sky Sports for the third time this season, and it couldn't get much tougher. We're at home to Reading, who are top of the league. They are doing fantastically well. 7 wins, 1 draw. They've only conceded 3, I think, so far this season, which is incredible. They've just beaten Blackburn, who we lost to 4-0. It's such a hard game, and the form we're in, I can't be too positive about this, but I've got faith that we're going to do something, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but I know that's probably not going to happen, but 1-1. Yeah, I like your optimism there, but I've come the opposite way. Obviously, Reading are playing really, really well. Yeah, like you said, they've just beat Blackburn, who panned us 4-0, so I'm actually going to say Cov 0, Reading 3. Yeah, let's hope not though, but I think we're going to get battered.
Right, okay, we'll move on to the next games. Next up we have Bristol City versus Norwich City, 2 teams that have had a fairly decent start to the season, 2 teams that definitely could be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season. We've played Bristol City on the opening day, they beat us 2-1. You actually got that prediction correct. As for Norwich City, they're doing fairly well. They got a late goal to draw with Brentford in the week, so I think these two are quite similarly matched, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I agree that they're similarly matched. However, I think Bristol City are going into it in slightly better form, so I've actually predicted a 2-1 win to Bristol City.
Ooh, okay. The next game then is between Barnsley and Watford. Now Barnsley picking up their first win of the season, 3-0 against QPR, who were down to 10 men. And they're going up against a Watford team that you could say surprisingly didn't beat Wycombe. They drew with Wycombe, but fair play to Wycombe, you know, they got the draw, you know, they're not a bad team. I think Watford do have a slightly better team, and they're, you know, I think they will do better than obviously Barnsley this season. I think it'll be a tight game though. I'm going to go for Barnsley 1, Watford 2.
Okay, if this was at the beginning of the season, I'd say something stupid like Watford 3-0. But going off recent fixtures and the results from them, I'm actually going to say Watford 1, Barnsley 0. I don't think it's going to be like an embarrassing scoreline. I think it's going to be fairly evenly matched, but I do think Watford are going to win, so I've predicted 1-0.
Okay, next up is Bournemouth going up against Derby County, who haven't started particularly well. As for Bournemouth, they've been quite good. They look like they could definitely be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season, maybe even the top 2, you never know. I do think Bournemouth have got a bit too much for Derby. Derby just seem to be lacking, they haven't scored many goals, so I think it'll be a tight game, but Bournemouth to pinch it 1-0.
Yeah, I've got Bournemouth 2-0 for this one. As you said, Derby aren't in the best of form, Bournemouth being at home and they're in decent form, so I think, yeah, it's going to be a comfortable 2-0 win.
Okay, next up is Luton Town versus Brentford Football Club. Now Brentford, obviously a lot of people's favourites to get promoted this season. If you watch my championship predictions video, I did tip them to win the league, and they've been fairly good. They are starting to hit some form. Ivan Toney keeps scoring goals, but they're going up against a plucky Luton side that have proved a lot of people wrong so far this season, especially us. We both predicted them to go down, but Luton Town have done really, really well so far. I think they'll give Brentford a good game, but with Ivan Toney scoring lots of goals at the moment, I just think Brentford are going to win. I'm going to go for Luton 1, Brentford 2, but I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, so our predictions before the beginning of the season, they're not anywhere near what the table's looking like at the moment. It's still very early on, but yeah, I did Luton dirty there. So I've actually predicted a 1-1 draw between Luton and Brentford, because Luton aren't a pushover, so I think they're going to hold them to a 1-1 draw.
Okay. The next game then is Middlesbrough Football Club, who obviously beat Coventry 2-0 in the week, going up against Nottingham Forest, who have looked a little bit better since Chris Hughton's come in, it's got to be said. I do think Middlesbrough are looking very good though. The only game they've lost this season was that opening game away to Watford, and that was only 1-0. Other than that, they've been really good, picking up wins and draws. And they're the only team to have taken points off Reading so far this season. So Middlesbrough, I think they're going to carry on their good run of form. I'm going to back them here 1-0.
Yeah, so obviously they just beat us 2-0. Middlesbrough did, but I didn't think they played amazingly. It took them a while to get through our defence. Obviously, we were set up to try and snatch either a late win or just get the draw and take a point. But yeah, they obviously did win 2-0, which flattered them in the end. I have predicted them to win though, because Nottingham Forest aren't in the best of form and also being away. So I've predicted a 1-0 win to Middlesbrough.
Okay, same as me. The next game then is Millwall Football Club going up against Huddersfield Town. Now this is a really hard one to predict. Both teams have been fairly decent so far this season. Millwall especially, they look quite good, but Huddersfield have picked up a few decent results. It seems to me like a really tricky one to predict, and I feel like I'm going to go for... I don't know, I'm going to go for Huddersfield to win this 1-0. Either team could win this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's going to be masses of goals. Watching that would be like a 3-2 thriller. I was going to predict a 0-0, then I thought actually, I think it's going to be even. I think they're going to draw, but I'm predicting a 1-1. I think there will be a few goals.
Yep. Next up then is Preston North End going up against Birmingham City. Both teams doing reasonably well there. I think they're both about in the middle of the table. They're both playing on the Wednesday night, which is as the time of predicting this, so we don't know what their Wednesday night scores are. But I'm just going to fancy the away team. I haven't really backed Birmingham much this season, so I'm just going to fancy them to pinch a 1-0 win here.
Yeah, see, I'm going the opposite way. I'm predicting Preston to win 1-0. Again, I don't think there's going to be masses of goals. I think Birmingham are going to put up a good fight, but I do think Preston are going to nick it. So just by 1 goal, so I predicted 1-0.
Okay, next up then is Queen's Park Rangers going up against mid-table Cardiff City. Now Queen's Park Rangers, it's got to be said, they haven't done amazing so far this season. They're not in the bottom 3, but they're not too far above it. Obviously that was Coventry's only win against QPR, and they lost 3-0 to Barnsley in the week, which is not the best scoreline. I think there's going to be a reaction, and I think they're really going to go to town on Cardiff, and I'm actually going to back them to win 3-1.
Okay, that'd be a really interesting game. I do think the result against Barnsley was a bit of a freak one, because obviously if they didn't have a red card it could have been a completely different game. So I've actually predicted QPR to lose at home, but 2-1 to Cardiff, so I don't think it's going to be a battering either way. I think Cardiff are going to nick it. I reckon it'll go into like late on in the game 1-1, and then I think Cardiff are going to nick it there. Yeah, both pretty evenly matched teams really.
Okay, the next game then is Stoke City, who a lot of people have got their eye on this season to be a dark horse for promotion, going up against a Rotherham United who are just in and around that relegation zone. I think they're just above it. But I don't think there's going to be too much in this game. I think Stoke, obviously being the slightly better team, slightly higher in the table and the home advantage, I think they're going to win this 2-1.
Yeah, I've gone for a Stoke win as well. I think obviously they're a solid championship club now. Rotherham have came up with us and are also struggling. We're all struggling. I think Stoke's are going to win 3-1. That's what I'm predicting. 3-1, good game.
Okay, yeah, it would be a good game. The next game then is Swansea City going up against a very inconsistent Blackburn Rovers. It's very hard to predict Blackburn at the moment because we've seen them trash teams like Coventry, Derby, Wycombe, and then I think, go on, I'll predict them to win, and then they go and lose the next game, and it's very hard to predict Blackburn Rovers. They're going up against Swansea City, who have been fairly decent this season. They're in and around the playoffs. Coventry did get a draw against them, so Swansea aren't...
That's why they're sitting second.
I think they are around the playoffs. They might be the top 2. I think they're in the playoffs though, Swansea City. I think it'll be a tight game, you know. I think there's going to be goals in this, both teams to score. I'm going to back the home team, Swansea, 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going for a Swansea win as well. I think there's going to be plenty of goals. Both teams are playing well. Yeah, like you said, Blackburn are really inconsistent, but that's kind of a Tony Mowbray team for you. So I've gone a 3-2 win to Swansea. I think both teams are going to go at it, and I think there's going to be plenty of goals, and it's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah, and then the next one is a massive one early in the season. We've already got the bottom 2 locking horns. Wycombe Wanderers going up against Sheffield Wednesday. Now Sheffield Wednesday are very close to turning on to 0 points because they've started the season reasonably well. As for Wycombe, obviously a very tough start to the season, but they picked up their first point against Watford, so a fantastic point has got to be said for Wycombe. And do you know what? For the first time this season, I'm actually going to predict them to get something. I think Sheffield Wednesday, they're sort of in and out of form, so I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw here, but a big game at the bottom really.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be fairly evenly matched. I think both teams are going to play quite cautiously because they both obviously want points because they're sitting rock bottom and then second bottom. I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to nick it with 1 goal though. I think they've got more quality, so they're going to get the win. But yeah, Wycombe coming in off a 1-1 match. Michael's putting me off. So I'm predicting a 1-0 win to Sheffield Wednesday. I think both teams are going to play relatively safe because they want the points, sitting bottom and second bottom of the table. But I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to win it. So yeah, I've gone with 1-0.
And that concludes today's video, guys. Make sure to like it. Let's try and smash 40 likes on this video. Leave a comment down below with what you think the predictions will be. Obviously, this is all an opinion. And make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, which is mad thinking, you know, I only started this channel this year. So brilliant. I love the support, guys. And we'll see you in the next video on Friday night as Coventry take on Reading. See you guys.
Peace out.